and welcome back to another video on my channel. Hope everyone's doing good, hope everyone's doing well. And so, this is an interesting, I can't believe this is still happening now in summer 2022. Houssem Aouar, the Lyon midfielder, was linked with playing for Algeria. We then had a global pandemic, and now we've come out of it. Houssem Aouar is still being linked with playing for Algeria. Literally having played a game for France along the way. This is an interesting debate. Once again, we're going to do it today. Let me know, of course, in the comments down below if you want Aouar to come back, or if you think morally he shouldn't, or if there's a middle ground between the two. Here's the backstory. Houssem Aouar, born in France, Algerian parents, Lyon midfielder, had a very good Champions League campaign a few years ago. I think Lyon got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, knocked out Manchester City along the way. And Aouar is being touted as this 60, 70, 80 million pound midfielder, and then stayed at Lyon, got called up for France, played one friendly game against Ukraine, and that was his only appearance. Now, because it was one appearance and it was in a friendly, means Aouar can still switch to Algeria because he hasn't played a competitive fixture with the French national team. We've also seen Aouar on 2 occasions pull out of a France squad because of COVID, he alluded to, and he didn't go to the Euros last year with the French national team. This summer, Aouar has been spotted in Algeria, firstly in Oran, and then playing in the streets of Algeria with cousins and friends and family and kids from the local neighbourhood. So he's in Algeria at the moment, which has led to this huge speculation about, is Houssem Aouar going to switch from France to Algeria? Now, this is a unique situation because we've had players in the past, even Feghouli, Brahimi, Fawzi Ghoulam, that have played for France under 21 and then switched to Algeria, which is completely fine. However, it becomes interesting when a player's literally put on the blue French national team shirt, and for them to switch to the Algerian shirt, it's an interesting debate. For me personally, I do not have a problem with it. I'm always going to stick by the mentality that I want my national team to have the best chance of winning football matches and to have the best chance of winning trophies. And that ultimately is getting your Aouars, your Delors into your team. Because if you've got a mentality where you'd rather have players that are not as good, but completely loyal, but you're never going to even make an AFCON again, what sort of, that's sort of a, this is a football team, this is sport, this is competitiveness, this is, you've got to go out and win. This is not some sort of political tool that you use to sort of show nationalism towards your country. How can you not want Houssem Aouar in the Algerian nationalist team? This is a player that was highly regarded as one of the best central midfield players in Europe just a couple of years ago, and you'd rather have, like, Belkabla in the middle instead. I mean, you've got to balance it out. If you have a midfield in the future of Benassa, let's say Benassa, Aouar and Adam Zourgan, not only do you make the Algerian team better, Adam Zourgan ups his game. He becomes a better player having an Aouar around him. The team gets better. The quality of passing gets better. The experience of player Aouar plays against, playing in the Champions League, playing in the Europa League, even though we beat them this season with West Ham, it ultimately lifts the team. And I think if there is talks about Aouar switching to Algeria, I think I'm more than welcome to it. However, I think the person that won't be welcome to it is Mr. Jamel Belmadi. I think Belmadi, we know how stubborn he is, and if Aouar comes knocking and says, here's my green passport, can I play for you now? I wouldn't be surprised if Belmadi said, no, you can't. I wouldn't put it past him to do that, because we know the standards he sets. We've seen what's happened with Andy Delors. It's always an interesting situation with Belmadi's stubbornness, because I like the stubbornness to an extent. Where do you draw the line? Does he ultimately, because you can argue now that the stubbornness to get the European-born players has ultimately cost us a World Cup qualification. Because if you had Ait-Nouri and Andy Delors against Cameroon, I'm fairly sure we're not going to lose the game at home in Bleeder, and we'll have a proper left-back playing at left-back. Even if he got Yanis Hamash in time for that game, would have been a lot better situation. So, where do you guys stand on the Houssem Aouar situation? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to take him back. Of course, it's just sort of rumours and early preliminary stages at this moment in time. The fact that he's in Algeria obviously shows that Aouar has all the documentation to be an Algerian, the passport, the S12, the documents, it sort of shows that he's got all that done already by the fact that he's travelled there. So in terms of the admin and the logistical side, it should be a fairly easy switch for FIFA to ratify. But does Belmadi take him, and does the people accept him? Will Aouar have to do some sort of apology? But it shows, this is a player that's played for France, but he still completely loves Algeria. If he turned his back on Algeria, he wouldn't go there to Oran and start playing in the streets with the kids there, So interesting place to draw the line. If we get Aouar back, Delors back in September, all of a sudden we've got a fantastic team going into that 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Should we qualify for it, of course, but I think we will. So let's see if Aouar comes back to the national team. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and I shall see you next time.